Hello and welcome to my channel, Christy Stone, Junk Journal Boss. This week we are going to put an extender on this folio that we built last week. And all we did was just the bare bones stuff that we need for building a beautiful folio. This week we're going to build an extender on so that we can use some of the other embellishments that are in the pack. And so let's go ahead and get started with that. The first thing I'm going to do is to get the inside cover page and another page from my Wildflowers and Butterflies Backgrounds and Accents. So first I'm going to cut this out, and then we are going to cover it in the same way that we did the inside for the cover last week. And don't worry if you don't get all the way to the edge and there might be like a little bit of white showing here. That's totally fine, because we're going to just put Distress Oxide on the edges and it'll look beautiful. We may or may not need this flap, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut it out anyway, just in case. It will look nice on the outside, and then we would just glue it down nicely. All right, so this isn't going to look good here. So we're going to have to figure out a way to attach it this way so that the flowers are the same direction. Okay? Okay, and now I am going to score this at 4 and 8. Okay, so now I've got my second part and I've got a little crease here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's all right. I can just cover it with something else. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to trim this off. So I end up having this, which can be used somewhere else if I want to. And I am going to add this here. So basically this is going to end up being a fold out that is attached here, and then we may have to trim this down a little bit, but we'll see how it is. So first, let's see, I think I might have to trim this a little bit more. And there are lots of different ways that you can do this. This is just the way I'm doing it today. Might have trimmed a little too much off, but we are going to make it work. And so I want to make sure that my flowers are going the same direction. So I am going to put a bead here. And I want to be careful to make sure that the edge of this is actually on the fold here. Okay, so I'm going to get a good, all right. And so we have this here, right? And that looks kind of funny. But that's all right, because we can always cover that with ribbon or something else, you know, embellish it in some way, or just leave it. I don't know if it really matters. So now what I've got is I've got this and I've got this. So remember last time we talked about this edge being too long, or this panel being too long, and it is longer than I want it to be. So I want this to kind of close flat. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and see what that's like. And if it doesn't make it better, yeah, it actually did make it better. Okay. All right. So now what we've got is we've got this opens like that. Whoops, I'm going to have to fix that. And then or you can have this and it opens like this. So you've got these 3 panels to work with. And then you've got, of course, the inside panel. So let's see what I can do about fixing this part here, because it is awfully thin. And the problem is that I've got the 2 sheets of paper glued together, the front and the back, right? And that's the problem, is that the glue just didn't end up coming all the way to the edge. So I would like to use my burnishing tool to flatten that out, and I'm also going to use it to pull some of that glue off of there. And I'm just going to get the little details. So this is looking pretty good. You know, if it doesn't look that great, it's fine. Like I said before, it can just be covered, you know. And it might probably be a better idea to cover it on the front and perhaps even on the back, although this might create a problem with folding. So you're just going to have to put things together, see how it lays, see if you like that. And since this is thicker, it's going to need a new crease. And so here we are so far. Now, I've got these panels to work with. One of these panels is going to be the front, and it's going to be this flower panel, and this one will be and this one will be the back. So you can just think of the flower panels as being the front and the back. The butterflies you can work with, and the stripes you can work with. So it looks like I've got all of these 3 panels that I can work with. And so I believe that I will go ahead and use my pockets here. Let's see. I wanted to cover this, remember, this little crease. Although, let me see if I can maybe smooth it out. Because if I can smooth it out, oh yeah, I smoothed it out a little bit. So I think that might be okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to position my pockets how I want them, and I think I'll go ahead and do them like this. And the cool thing about this lined paper is that I can actually kind of line up my pockets with that. It's nice to be able to do that, to have sort of a ruler there, if that makes sense. All right, so these are more pockets, and I believe what I would like to do is just go ahead and line the bottoms of these up and glue them next to each other. So let's go ahead and do that, and it gives a little bit of continuity on the 2 pages, and I like that. All right, so now there's that, and I like that so far. Some other options that you have are, you know, pictures like this. I can add this here like that, and this can be a top loading pocket or a side loading pocket. You could put a different piece of cardstock underneath this. You could make this actually an interactive pocket, which would look really nice. Okay, so let's see how this is looking. All right, so just follow the way the folds are. And this folds back, and this folds like that, and this folds like that. So basically, you've got this. That's all I've got for you today. We've got the extension done and the pockets in. And next week, we will maybe work on some maybe interactive flip out pages, or you know, flip open pages or something like that. And so I'll see you next week. Bye.